League of Legends here, PMALCS, SummerSlam. We have Game 2 here of SPR versus LLL. As you can see on the screen, it looks like, I mean, it doesn't look like because it just is. SPR won Game 1 in what I thought was a pretty clean game, in my opinion. Chris, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was relatively convincing too. Honestly, I don't see many problems with the approach they had. It was very effective in general, and literally the only thing you could say is like, oh, well, Mudkip's got killed one time, or, like maybe some vision here wasn't good or the best or something like that. But it's like, literally, that was like pretty much the gold standard for what we've been used to for Saving Private Reckless throughout this entire season. And Juice Me Daddy as well, always showing his mid lane prowess throughout the season. And I'm sure it's a surprise to many that he didn't get picked in the upper bracket, but he has found a great home here on the Melody bracket, and team's popping off. They're currently in first place. On the flip side, though, I feel like Lavi's Lusty Lads still has a little bit more potential to play up to going into game 2, so I don't think you can sleep on him.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't. It's SummerSlam. Anything is bound to happen, and I will agree that I think other people were caught off guard with Juice Me Daddy not being picked for the first draft, but that's not to say that he isn't a good player. I mean, the man is literally plat 2 right now. He plays mid very well. He's able to be the shining light for the Melody bracket. He's able to, be a role model, teach other brothers mid lane as well as, how to play the game. If I'm on SPR and I'm playing with Juice Me Daddy, I am asking him questions. I want to know what he thinks about during the game, why he plays the champions he plays, and all that nice, neat stuff to hopefully rank up myself. I think PMALCS in general is a really good. I'm being asked to turn up our volume. Sorry. So I think it's a very good tool to be able to rank up and learn more about League of Legends as well as do the Brotherhood thing in a non-musical fashion. So. That's my soapbox about that. Again, please vote in the freaking MVP poll. We're at a three-way tie, and it
Good
makes me
thing
sad.
dropping it in chat for the two teams was actually pretty genius, because we actually broke the tie with a convincing 2 votes. So with 5 votes, Juice Me Daddy is going to be your MVP for game 1.
Ooh, look at that! Congratulations, Juice Me, for
Woo!
the fantastic game 1. Oh crap! I did not. Oh, there it is. Holy cow! Thought I got rid of the links. There's the spec link for everybody in the chat. Well, in the chat of the lobby.
The game.
In the game. Yep. So we get ready here. Stream is our. Chris, if you're Labby's team, what do you look at to kind of fix the issues that Labby's team comp had? Or maybe, how do they match the global pressure that SPR's team had?
Well, I'll be honest. You 5-banned Juice Me Daddy last game, and it still didn't matter. The man demolished your team as Karthus. So that's going to be my first takeaway, is they just don't have the answer to Juice Me Daddy. Like, they just don't have a straight-up answer to Juice Me Daddy to where they can just ban him away. The guy's fundamentals are just good enough to where no matter what you do to his champion pool, even though he's known for not having the largest of champion pools, he's still found things he can be comfortable enough on to make an impact in all the games he's played in the Melody bracket. So teams in general just need to stop dropping so many bans his way. What they should look to do is figure out just 2 to 3 champions that are big problems from his pool. Maybe focus on banning those champions. And then with the other options in the draft, you want to look towards perhaps drafting Labby, a jungler he's comfortable on, first of all. Because he looks pretty okay on the Echo, but depending on if the draft gets changed up by Saving Private Reckless, I doubt it will. There will be an opportunity to pick Labby up like something he's more comfortable on if they change the draft up. If they don't, Borgfius's Hecarim would be great ban as well to look for, and perhaps find something like a Thresh as well in the bottom lane for AZ Prodigy. That would be a very strong option for them because that would have a much better matchup into the Galio, and I think that's just something he'd be more comfortable on. So perhaps focus more on getting Prodigy a comfort pick, get throw some bans towards Borgfius's Hecarim, and perhaps I think that's really all you need to do is drop the ban on Borgfius's Hecarim, force him on something like maybe a Jarvan, something that he doesn't have quite as much impact on, and get Prodigy a comfort matchup in bot, and then just find ways to respect your Smee Daddy more and work around him.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think going off of that, we are starting pick and ban here.
Ooh, spicy. Let's see what they got in store for us. Katarina going to get dropped by Lavi Lucio Lads again. No surprise here. Nice part is this time around they are on blue side, so we can see what options they can take with the first pick. That essentially would give them the option to try and grab away one of Juice Mijati's champions first if they want to reduce his pool via those means, and perhaps get Bukake Poro something that he's comfortable on. But my recommendation overall would be to try and get Bukake Poro perhaps a counter matchup in mid, first of all. And I don't know if the Nocturne mid's going to survive the draft or not, but if it does, that could be an option.
Yeah, I completely agree. Super Hoagie, SPR 1 game 1. Yeah, so I'm actually going to be right back. I'm just going to go blow my nose. So, Chris, if you don't mind vamping pick ban for me, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I got this. And
Sweet,
so saving Private Reckless as well here with the Sivir ban first. I think that's no surprise here, as the first pick Sivir would have been a great option for Labby's Lusty Lads. Sivir is basically the face of the PMA LCS in the AD carry role at this point, and Joystick has shown to be no stranger on that Sivir. The Morgana as well, coming from Labby's Lusty Lads, appears they're prioritizing the triple ban on Juice Me Daddy again. Not sure how I feel about that, however, because it didn't really turn out well for them last game, as kind of got a staff up the bum from his Karthus. Good times. And speaking of good times, Prodigy is still not going to be having a good time playing his main in the bottom lane because Nautilus is banned again. And the Caitlyn first pick on the side of Lavi's Lusty Lads coming up for Joystick here. I overall like that pick, and I think Caitlyn can be a very strong option. However, there are a few notable picks in this meta that can do decently well against Caitlyn. The good news is Sivir is one of them, and that's already been banned away by Saving Private Reckless, so he doesn't have to worry about that. The Jinx actually coming out in response for Saving Private Reckless. That is one of the 3 picks that you would expect to see into Caitlyn that would be really good. Ashe is the other one, and Ashe has a pretty convincing landing phase against her, has reasonably high range, so can CS relatively safely, has the volleys as well to repeatedly poke. The Jinx is a very interesting matchup for my money, though, because Jinx has the range to compete with Caitlyn, so she can stay safe. Caitlyn has a little more lane pressure overall, though, so if I'm saving Private Reckless, I'm holding the support matchup as long as possible against Labby's Lusty Lads because Jinx has overall less early game pressure than the Caitlyn, and so if you really want to see Jinx be able to play that lane, you want a good support matchup so they don't get pressured out. Otherwise, Caitlyn's going to do what she does best. And also the Shen pick from the side of Saving Private Reckless is something that is very unique. I'm sure Gert is no stranger to basically any engaged supports at all, and Shen kind of plays like a bit like Galio, honestly. So that, in addition to the fact that they can easily flex it top lane for Mudkips, I honestly think that team in general is no stranger to Shen. And Shen as well with a couple buffs last patch, bringing him back kind of not necessarily into the forefront of this meta, but making him relevant as a pick again means that you can finally start to see him doing pretty well. And the Malzahar and Jace going to be picked up on the side of Labby's Lusty Lads here. For Malzahar has been very quietly under the radar recently. Is a very strong mid laner. U.GG currently has him at S+ tier in solo queue, and man, Malzahar packs a punch. Got a really high win rate. No, it's just Malzahar's standard. He's got point and click suppression. You can get those waves shoving really strongly, and Bukaki Poro as well has shown a decent amount of proficiency on Malzahar in the past. So I'm not surprised to see that one come through. With the Jace pick as well for Dr. Pengu is, you know, usually from Dr. Pengu before he started diversifying his champion pool a bit with the Akali and, this season as well, the Kled, it was just Alawi Jace, Alawi Jace, Alawi Jace. That was what you were used to seeing every game. And so I'm pretty excited to see him here on this Jace once again. But that being said, the Shen is still an optional flex top lane, and that has a decent matchup into Jace being able to survive the lane. Still kind of terrible, and he'd probably not come out on the best side of it, though, because of the melee to range disadvantage. The fact that Shen doesn't have many options. And Labby's Lusty Lads opting, looks like, for the 5 ban on Juice Me Daddy again. The Karma's being picked out for saving Private Reckless here. I feel like that's an option for Juice Me Daddy already. And with the Shen, that could feasibly be going either support or top. The Karma is looking like a decent option in the mid for Juice Me Daddy, and it has a decent matchup into Malzahar, being able to shield a lot of that damage over time. And they switched up the bans this time. The Karthus comes through. So Labby's Lusty Lads once again 5 banning Juice Me Daddy out. Not sure how I feel about that, as Borkfia still has priority picks up in his Hecarim this game.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't, and we kind of touched upon this already. 5-man banning out, Juice Me Daddy wasn't the answer last game, and I don't know if it's the answer this game. But I guess we'll have to see. I mean, just looking at the picks primarily, I'm not really sure what we covered already, but Shen is super strong right now. Jinx is pretty strong. Amumu's pretty strong.
Ooh, now that's spicy. I actually think that's going to be the Mundo Jungle. That's a pick as well that has been seeing, a little bit of solo queue prominence right now. There's actually a challenger Dr. Mundo one trick on EU West right now, and essentially the gist is he goes Talisman, and he starts Raptors, and he goes Fleet Footwork, and he just hard clears them level 1. And then he will clear his red and Krugs, and then back and get a machete, and then go clear his blue side. And he can actually basically full rotation 6 camps plus a Scuttle Crab in less than 3 minutes 35 seconds. It's pretty insane. He'll make it to Scuttle with only 5 seconds of Scuttle uptime. He'll make it there 320. It's pretty insane.
Wow.
So I'll have to see if he can get the clear right. But, saving Private Reckless, though, I feel like that might be the Karma coming out. That's Brand and Karma, 2 very flexible picks here that I like to see. And Labby's Lusty Lads here, the Janna has a pretty okay matchup into the Karma because she has a decent amount of speed and got the shield for Karma's poke. And Janna's Zephyr is pretty point and click. Can be very obnoxious as well for the Jinx to deal with. Janna has less fun against Brand, however, so I'd be interested to see how that one plays out. Because Karma and Brand both viable mid and support, and Juice Me Daddy has played Glacial Augment Brand before.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised to see they literally have the option to flex them to whoever they feel confident on whenever they feel like it in this draft. So it's not just a flex pick draft mind game and then we're locked in at the end. They can literally just not care about who's mid and who's support until 20 seconds before the game starts.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And as a team that has played against the Glacial Brand, it is disgusting.
It's not fun to play against.
I think it's fine, honestly, whether it goes mid or support. I think knowing Juice Me Daddy, I'm pretty certain that it's going to be Glacial Brand mid.
I would agree. It's probably going to be the Brand mid.
Which I love to see as a Brand player. I play him support, but it's always nice to see him in mid lane because a lot of people don't take him mid right now. And I'm also interested to see the Dr. Mundo. Like you said, we've kind of already talked about him, but very interesting pick that is, came out of the woodwork from that Mundo one trick. Not really necessarily a meta pick. Also, I'm very interested to see how Jace plays out this game. I know Dr. Pengu is a pretty phenomenal Jace player, and I'm not really sure how the matchup plays in the top lane against a Shen.
Yeah, did I say allowing enthusiast? I meant Jace enthusiast. This man coming out with the Jace. So I actually did touch upon this matchup earlier.
Okay.
Essentially, it can get really rough for the Shen just because of the melee range disadvantage, but the Shen does have his Spirit's Refuge, his W to play around with to block some of the autos and the trading from Dr. Pengu. But Dr. Pengu overall has lower cooldowns, so he can try and bait out the Spirit's Refuge and then punish the Shen while it's still on cooldown, and that can lead to him establishing a very slow yet brutal dominance over the lane just going forward over the course of a few minutes. That being said, he'll really have to watch his mana, as when he has to go to melee form in order to heal, in order to gain some mana back on his autos from the hammer, that is actually a decent opportunity for Shen to trade with him. But you can be looking for the Thundering Blow because you can still knock the Shen back, so we'll just have to see. I think overall Jace should win the matchup, but the Shen has some options, and Jace doesn't really interfere with Shen's, play style per se.
I agree. So looking at team comps, Chris, which team comp do you vibe with more, and why?
This game I'm enjoying both of these team comps actually. Labby's Lusty Lads have good deal of zone control, as Malzahar with its suppression, that's pretty much a walking zone. If you're gonna engage and do a team comp with Malzahar, you better be darn sure that you make sure no one's just gonna get hit up, turned on, point and click ulted, and then they all just dogpile them, right? Also, the Caitlyn strat's really good for securing control around objectives, and if Joystick has some pretty decent Caitlyn mechanics, we'll see those coming to prominence as well. And the Janna as well, another queen of disengage. They have a beefy front line with Dr. Mundo and some poke with Jace, so I think they have some really good options, as well as a couple of decent matchups in the laning phase to play off of. Look for that team comp to be spiking in the level 6 to 11 region, where they can start to play around objectives utilizing that Caitlyn, utilizing the Jace poke, having Mundo with the ult, and Mundo starting to farm up. I'm really expecting to see them having a slight trough while the Caitlyn and the Mundo are powering up, though. So, look for that, around the level, 11 to perhaps, 15 range before they get to 3+ items. That would be an opportunity for Saving Private Reckless to change, to take advantage of the game with, because they have some really impactful ults and team fighting, with the Amumu being able to drop a lot of crowd control. The Karma can dart in and out of places. She has access to the mantra shielding, which means she can easily control engages and disengages on the side of Saving Private Reckless, and the Brand just does so much damage in team fights. The Jinx is one of the few AD carries with Jinx, has area of effect auto attacks. That's going to be the freest cleanup to a Brand combo you've ever seen. And the Shen has, the Shen's one of the kings of team fights and global map pressure. So, Juice Me Daddy's been taking off the Karthus this game, but Saving Private Reckless has still found a way to get some of that global pressure into their comp once again. In terms of which...
My God, Chris, I'm sorry for cutting you off, dude. But if you look at the client right now, we have solidified who is going where, and it's actually Gert who's on the Shen, and I think it looks like Mudkips is on the Karma, so the Karma's top.
I think that makes a lot of sense, because the Karma can go Bruiser build and play into the Chase. Like I said, it's not the most fun matchup for Shen and top, so again, that flexibility is that was probably a pretty big option for them. And I also talked about how the Shen could be flex support for earlier, so I didn't necessarily see that one coming because I don't follow SPR mega hard, but it's no surprise to me once I see kind of what prompted it. It makes a lot of sense. However, I'm kind of scared for what Shen can do in that lane, because Janna can disengage Shen taunts pretty easily with Tornado.
Yeah, we'll see. I was really hoping Prodigy was going to be on a tank, but I don't really know what his Janna skills are. But hopefully, we'll see some good Janna alts and some good Janna natives.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see that, and because of the melee range disadvantage in the bot lane is going to create a really bad situation for this Jinx where they're just going to get poked out of lane consistently by the Caitlyn Janna. And really, the Shen's only going to find an all-in if the Janna or the Caitlyn makes a mistake. So this lane's going to get pretty oppressive pretty quickly for them. They basically just traded around. They basically just traded around. They basically just traded around matchups because now the matchup's not bad top, but it got worse bot. Bondsley tossed in chat saying that Janna can't pressure the 2v1 very well, so it's easy roams. I would actually highly disagree with that. Janna has point and click Zephyr, and she has movement speed to be able to dodge Zephyrs. So literally, she just sits on the Jinx. She literally just sits just out of range of the Jinx, and then when Jinx walks up for a CS, she just Zephyrs her. And if you max Zephyr in the lane, then Jinx is going to start taking like 15 to 20% of her health from Zephyrs around level 9. It's not going to be fun if the Shen just leaves her for dead. And we talk about the poke pressure as well with Caitlyn Janna. Like, the Jinx could probably step up in the 2v1 if the wave is on her side, but the wave should never be on their side against Caitlyn Janna because, like I said, melee to range disadvantage and support. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. Depending on how antsy Prodigy is feeling, all that analysis could be useless. They could just do something. They could just do something randomly in laning phase.
Right.
Just blow it out. Just blow all that stuff right out of the water.
Yep, and I think like the big thing you brought upon is the support difference, right? Shen provides a lot of the alt provides a lot of like save potential, but so does the Janna in just a different way. And in the support world, we like to think of the triangle, right? One point is tank / engage, another point is like poke, and then another point is sustain, right? Basically, you could generalize all the supports currently that are in the meta between one of these three categories. And if you have a triangle, and I wish I had like a document that I could just pull up to like visually explain it, but basically, the Shen is an engaged tank, right? That gets beat out by a poke support, which that would get beat out by a sustain support, right? So Shen is kind of at, Chris like broke this down in a very like detailed analysis, but like fundamentally, like the type of champion Shen is compared to the type of champion Janna is, Shen just loses, like theoretically, right? Because he'll just continuously get poked out, and he won't be able to engage. Because if he engages after being poked out, he'll probably die.
Yeah, it's pretty much the equivalent of it. And there's the flash by Morpheus and base. That's what you like to see.
He was probably typing something.
Probably. Then you just happened across that F key. Yep, because it's good luck, have fun, right? There's an F in good luck, have fun.
Yep.
That's why D is for Thwash, kids. If you're trying to type good luck, have fun, you won't accidentally flash. You'll just heal. But he's playing jungle, so he won't even smite anything.
True.
D is for Thwash, kids. Always remember.
D is for Thwash.
That being said, I use Flash on F, and I used to use Flash on D until about a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Any like specific reasons why you changed?
So the specific reason I changed was because naturally my fingers sit on Q, W, E, F, and so it makes more sense to have Flash on F because Flash is one of the summoner spells that reaction time is crucial for it. So I just switched because it made more sense in that manner. But like Flash on D honestly wasn't that bad. So it's all about, in my opinion, like there's a certain. You can map out the way your fingers play this game as efficiently as, the way you play this game in your brain. So it's like I said, little things like that where.
Can we pause? By the way?
Yeah, we can pause. I'm paused at 130.
Okay, I'm at 133.
Okay, I'll go to 133.
Yep.
Well, like I said, it's little things like that can kind of buff your game. Just ergonomically.
Are you at 133?
Yeah, I am.
All right, let's hit play in 3, 2, and 1, and go.
Yeah, but as I was saying before, it's like, moving your flash to F instead of D because your finger sits on that isn't ever going to save you in lane if you have bad fundamentals, It's little things like that can elevate play that's already good. And so,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it's kind of like, having an understanding between big things and little things is really crucial for improving in this game, right? Because it's like, I'll be like, I can all in, it's like, I can all in this man because he just burned a spell that's on a 10-second cooldown. I got this 10-second window now, right? But then you realize you're half health. Then you realize you're half health, and it's like he just turns on you anyway. Why? Because you're taking damage, and they had a health. They had a health advantage, and it's just overall like you didn't see the big picture, right? It's very. I notice a lot of players at times will get very focused on the little things like that and push. It's like you want to push big advantages in a big manner, and you want to push little advantages in a little manner. You have to know what you can get out of each and everything that you do. Now, Sarsos actually dropping the taunt in for some early trading, and yeah, that's actually a great time to do it, is level 2, because Janna traditionally won't have the Tornado until level 3, as most of them are used to going Zephyr level 1 into Shield level 2. Prodigy actually, though, has Tornado level 2, so I guess he just wasn't expecting the taunt engage. That's really unfortunate. So now, knowing that, now, like I said, that's one of those things that kind of blows the matchup out of the water. And speaking of blowing something out of the water, Juice Me Daddy blowing Bukake Poro up there for the first blood in mid lane. He's kiting away from Labby's Mundo, dodging the cleaver, but he's going to flash forward, and that's going to be the return kill.
Some very good stuff coming here from Juice Me Daddy, as well as Labby. Labby with the Flash E, I believe. Or it might have been the Flash Cleaver to secure the kill on...
Just the Flash Auto.
Daddy. Oh, was it auto?
Yeah,
oh my god, the
NATO. It's like a Flash Masochism auto. And see, that's what I was talking about. Like, if the Janna doesn't do that, then yeah, Shen dumpsters the lane. If Janna can't Tornado the taunt, Shen dumpsters the lane 100%, unless the Janna plays super far back. But then you're losing the poke pressure a little bit, right? So then you get out of lane, even CS, and you're happy with life. Life moves on, they get no platings. It's completely okay. But Janna needs to be able to, reaction Tornado those Shentons and be able to read it, because otherwise the Shenton is, as we talked about before, really strong, and he has a bit of sustain as well in his shields, and he can drop that Spirit's Refuge to prevent the auto attack trades. So, one thing you could look for in manners of outplay is Shen sticking near this Jinx and dropping the Spirit's Refuge anytime Packer Diehard gets CC'd up and stuck on traps. Possibly that would be a very big opportunity. And like EQ combos as well. Anytime you're gonna get headshot auto, buffed auto headshots on you, either from the 90 caliber net or the Yordle snap traps, that's a pretty good opportunity to use the Spirit's Refuge to prevent them from trading onto you.
Yeah, for sure. Completely agree. Something interesting that I noticed is the fact that Prodigy didn't take Airy. He took Comet. Just my 2 cents on that is I feel like he's missing out on a lot of shielding potential, because he misses out on the Airy procs.
I would agree. So
yeah.
Going into late game, the official thing on that is going into the late game, the Comet's going to be a little less effective. In my opinion, Airy scales a little more just for that reason, because you shield people, right? But this Comet's really effective in laning phase for poking them out, because you literally just got to point and click Zephyr into, 40 to 50 free Comet damage off of that. And you're seeing that happen right here. Is you're talking about the triangle either. The reason poke beats all in is because you need to have a health advantage to all in. Now the flash forward by Prodigy, and that's a very dangerous spot to be in, as a Janna gets immediately turned upon under tower. That's what we were talking about, right? Is going back to that triangle that you introduced to us.
Yeah.
How can you all in? All in relies on having health and being able to win the trade overall. How can you win the trade when you're just low health, right?
Yeah,
now Morpheus actually coming in here on Joystick, going to get rooted and trapped up. Joystick's actually out of that one.
Yeah, and I think, kind of to further your point and to analyze what happened, I'm very shocked that Prodigy flashed forward there. I think that was a little too aggressive. Even, if you consider the Fog of War and stuff, we didn't know that Morpheus was sitting in that bush, but still, Shen literally just has oh, Labby's mid. Shen has the taunt, right? There should never, if Shen is bot under tower, there is never a reason why you should be diving, in my opinion, right? Especially when Shen still had 400 health. You know, yes, the Jinx was low, but I don't know if it was. It would have been even worth it if you killed her, right? So I don't know. Very interesting.
Ooh, great
Ooh,
EQ
wow.
from Dr. Pengu. Mudkip's going to be dropping down early in that top lane off the assist gank from Labby. And talking about that Mundo clear, currently sitting on 30 CS at 7 minutes. So I'm not sure if he's actually familiar with the typical Mundo route because that's traditionally not the CS numbers you're used to seeing at 7 minutes. However, it's proved to have a lot of really effective ganks coming off of this Mundo here. He's currently 2-0. And, one thing we were talking about last game was the the jungle, essentially for, if you want to say it's like just straight up, like the pressure difference in the jungles, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Labby this game immediately come out with 2 kills. So this is a complete reversal of what we were seeing last game in the first, 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm really happy to see it. I think Labby typically just does better when he has the early game pressure. At least that's something I noticed, being on his team for like what 6-7 months. Oh, got a little bit of a skirmish in the bot lane. Nothing was blown or nobody died. Wait a minute.
And so this lane's just getting brutal right now. Prodigy actually taking 2 turret shots, and that minion sidestep actually just saved his life there. He would have gone down to the zap if it wasn't for that. And we talked about earlier as well, utilizing the Spirit's Refuge to stop some of the auto damage coming in from Joystick. You saw it being used there. A little bit mistimed because he didn't block the trap headshot. He missed it by like maybe a quarter of a second, like overall. Like you can tell that Ursus Arctos generally has a little bit of an idea of what he's doing in this lane, how to play against Janna. And so even though they've had a little bit of a rough laning phase, they've been poked out. Orpheus came in to help. They're even CS right now, and Ursus Arctos currently sitting in a pretty good spot, but Juice Media is not sitting in a pretty good spot here. Bukaki Poor dropping the ult. The Shen ult is going to come out. Stand United is not going to be enough to save him. Labby actually goes down to the brand burn, though. That's going to be a 1-for-1 overall in the mid lane.
And kind of going off of that, just witnessing that fight, something we didn't really discuss, or maybe we did and I just wasn't there for it, is the fact that Brand... Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, baby, Pengu!
Wow, the one-trick Jace coming through for Labby's team here. Getting the kill on Karma. That's an 0-2 Karma on the top lane. Feels bad, man. I'm getting some LCS final PTSD from the Karma top watching this game. But what I was going to say was the fact that, Brand does percentage health damage, right? So it's kind of indirectly a counter to the Dr. Mundo pick, which again just sways the tide over to SPR again. But who knows? I mean, Jace is getting pretty far ahead here, so maybe he could just hard carry the game.
And if you want to quantify some of the early things that have been happening down here on the support triangle, each champion has strengths and weaknesses on the triangle. And, Janna's strength would not be, all-inning per se. Right. So, she can't really all-in people unless she's poked them down pretty hard. And so, that last, that thing that went awry and caused him to die under tower bit off a little more than he can chew. It's like Janna can all in people, but you gotta flash ignite, combo them, find them in the middle of lane in tandem with your AD carry. You can't be diving turrets with that champion, right?
Right, yeah, for sure. I completely agree. And like I said, I mean, it would be one thing if Janna did that against like another like poke support, right? As opposed to like a support with CC. And I think,
exactly.
Yeah,
he's trying to all in a Shen. It's like, wow, it's all in the all in, Wayne. Wait.
Right.
No, they all in you.
Oh,
Top flash comes out. Borkfius with the CC chain.
But
Packer
here.
stuck on the ward behind them, but Joystick gonna go down. Kills from Packer Die Hard. Stellar Rocket comes out. Get it, Stellar. That's a double kill for Packer Die Hard. Bukake Pora, though, with another grass to turn on the Juice Me Daddy is gonna be good. That's the solo kill in the mid lane. Gonna be a 2-for-2 when the dust is settled overall.
And just like that, Labby's team is able to sway the gold lead into their favor. and I am very pleased to see. I think this state of the game is a lot different than last game. And we kind of talked about that with Labby's jungling, but I think just in general, as a team and as a match, just in general, like it's very different, and I like to see that. Keeps things spicy. I don't think Labby's team's getting blown out. You know what I mean? I think they're doing really well here as there's a collapse on Borkfield.
Yeah, they're actually up on gold right now. Overall, they're still winning, and Borkfield's actually been picked here. Brandolt's coming in. That's some pretty disgusting damage. Double passive procs already. Still looking for Labby. He's found the stun from the Seer. The Ignite comes out. Juice Me Daddy, though, caught in a very tight spot here. The slam from Dr. Pengu comes in. Juice Me Daddy goes down. They're still on the chase, though. Ursus Arctos in a bit of a tight spot. He's going to be out of this one, though. And that's going to be 2-for-0 for Labby's Lusty Lads overall.
Very, very clean rotations coming in. Especially from the Jace, being able to pick off the brand is very important. Like we talked about in our pregame analysis here, we thought that we still think that the brand is kind of the do I want to say the pinnacle? He's like the not the climax. He's basically like the point, the whole, like, in my opinion, he's like one of the main like fundamental pieces of SPR's comp, right? And the fact that he's 2-4, he's getting shut down. They are focusing. Labby's team is focusing him very hard. He's not able to do enough damage to blow up Labby's team. It's going to make it really hard for them to, stay in the game and to be relevant.
And the jungle pressure difference this game is a big part of it, as Labby has been playing I would say, overall a much better game in this second game, too. And so I say that, though, or Sarkthus dropping the taunt, Joystick and at the flash out. The rocket actually going to go a little bit awry there, and Joystick still running for his life. The zap lands, but those chompers going to zone him off in time. And escape. Bukake Pora, though, on the roam here. Dropped another glass. Borkfius is now in a very bad spot. Gonna blow the Cursed Sad Mummy, but unfortunately he's going to go down. Or Sarkthos now forced to taunt over the wall. 1-for-0 for Labby's Lusty Lads overall.
Yeah, and again, another phenomenal rotation, right? We saw Joystick get caught out. He was able to have some happy feet, dodge literally everything. He dodged the Jigsaw, but didn't dodge it enough so that he would have walked into the Amumu bandages, or band-aids, or whatever the Q is called, and was able to get out just fine. Yeah, he did have to flash away and E away, but he's still alive, and it ended up in a kill, right? So I think that Labby's team is just all around playing a lot better than they were last game. Even Prodigy, I think, is positioning definitely better than his Nami game. So I'm really proud of them. Really hope that they can close this one out, though.
Yeah, I'd say overall, we talked about that turret dive way too much, so that's all I'll say about that. Besides that, he's been having, positioning-wise, he's improved upon last game drastically, and you're seeing the fruition of his efforts. That being said, I still feel like Backer Diehard and Ursus Arctos been playing some pretty good League of Legends this game. They're equal farm in a lane that shouldn't be going that well. Morpheus is really giving them a visit, a couple visits to be honest, and if I'll be honest, if I'm saving Private Reckless right now, this bot lane is what I'm looking to carry us forth into the mid game. Because, like I said, equal farm, basically, they're only down about 8 CS, and that's more than made up in the kill difference between 80 carries. So Jinx is online with the Infinity Edge right now, and that's going to be something they can really lean on going into this mid game here. So, if Labby's Lusty Lads does not respect this, it could get a little rough for them. And Borkfius going to get caught out on the top side here. That's so much shields, though, from the Stand United and the Mantra Shield. That's going to be enough to keep him alive versus Arctos now, chilling in this bush. Labby and Dr. Pengu just saying hi. Bukakipor is actually on the roam there. The flash forward. There comes the silence. Do they have it? Mudkit's flashing back. It's 3 very low people sitting under this turret right now. See if they fancy it. Oh, God. Morpheus, where is that bandage going? Oh, I don't know about that one, buddy.
Very questionable. Oh, man. Bad. Wow.
That's rough. team overstay right there. One of them chucks a bandage toss in. Probably regretting that one. Like, honestly, I can just hear the groans over Mike, like, just right now. Like, that's one of those things that if I'm a player, I'm just like, it's like I throw it and then like I immediately just know, oh my fuck, why did I do that, bro? Like, just why did I do that?
Yeah, as like a Nautilus player,
Like, you gotta feel for him on that one.
I've definitely had situations where it's like I will whiff a hook and I thank the Lord that I whiff it,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's
It's like
just
you think you see something. You think you see something, then you realize, wait, I've actually been bamboozled, and then you're like, oh, thank God I missed it. I'm
yep.
so bad, I'm good. It's genius.
So bad, I'm good. That is one way to look at it. But yeah, this game I'm feeling, we're about 18 minutes in, and I really think that Labby's, they have a 5K gold lead. They're in the spot. The game right now is in their hands, and it is their job to close it out. If I'm SPR, I'm telling my team that we need to capitalize on Labby's mistakes. We got to find, either a pick or somebody that's not rotating well and try to single them out and try to, win fights and get numbers advantages from that. Maybe try to steal a neutral objective, but that's, super risky and you can't really count on that. But yeah, that's what I'd be looking for. I'd just be looking to capitalize on some, a mistake or two, and hopefully maybe snowball those into leads. Again, with Prodigy, and I know Prodigy plays a lot of tank supports, and I just want to comment on that again. He's also a very fast Janna with the Mobies, so I think it's very easy for him to just like accidentally like walk up too far, and so I think, if I'm SPR, that's kind of who I'm looking for.
So, one thing I kind of want to look at is Mudkits in the top lane. With this Karma build, I'm not sure how I feel about the Ludens. I think I want to see him on something a little bit more tanky, something with some armor, like especially like the Iceborne first Karma. I think would have been a really slick go-to here, especially into the Jace lane. So if you're talking, for our visual learners out here, if you're talking triangles with support. With the support, I would actually argue in favor of like a support rhombus, split up tank and all in, just for the sake of like supports like Braum, who would be like high in tankiness, but like middling and all in, for example. But that's a story for a different day. But if you wanna talk, we got another rhombus here, right? You got armor, lethality, percent max health, and health, right? And so Jace builds lethality typically, and so what's good against lethality? Armor, right?
Right.
Armor's the move there.
Right. So you're saying like would Azonias even be okay, in your opinion, or?
You could rock the you could rock probably Iceborne Zanyas. That'd be a pretty solid build. Very defensive, very solid. And if you want that AP flex option, that's good. Morpheus though, the flash forward. That's actually a 5-mana Moo ult. See the follow-up they can get off of that. Use me daddy. You get some good damage off. Pukake Poro actually dominating right now. Still a 2-for-2 overall. Labyrinth tanking as much damage as he can on the front. That's a great sear. The rocket comes in. That's a shutdown from Packer Diehard. They found the turn they need. Packer Diehard with a double kill. That's another shutdown. And Joystick all by his lonesome is doing his best to run the hell away from that.
Oh my god. We were just talking about what SPR needed to do to get back into this game, and they found it. They found the opportunity here. I think the Amumu flashing in for the 5-man, while it was awesome that he was able to get all 5, I don't think it was worth it. The man was super low when he went for it, and he had to burn his flash for it. At the end of the day, he should have just looked for the bandages and just ult the 3 or maybe even 4 people he would have hit instead of that 5th one, I think
I would actually argue that I think the flash was crucial there because
really,
like if you look at how low all the health bars were on the side, like they just barely cleaned up that fight, and it was still a 2-for-2 and a 3, like it was still a 2-for-2 towards even the most middling stages of that fight. And as well, that Amumu comboing into the brand damage, the Jinx AoE, is crucial to them cleaning up that fight. Like, literally, he drops even one man from that Amumu ult, and I feel like maybe Labby's Lusty Lads could have turned it around. So I feel like the flash forward to stack himself was... I feel like the flash forward to stack himself, in any other opportunity, I would agree with you. It's a waste of a flash, but I think in that scenario, it's what won them the fight. And
Oh
versus
man.
Arctis actually gonna get caught out there from the flash, another grass forward. Jesus Christ, that's some Brand damage, baby. That is why you don't fight Brand in corridors. And a rocket coming in again. That is one super mega death rocket. Joystick got caught up by the Zap. Packer Diehards looking for more. Pengu popping the Ghost Blade, though. It's smart of Packer to not check that one. That's yet another great turnaround fight on the side of saving Private Reckless. Labby's Lusty Lads just not paying the respect they need to that massive AoE comp on the side of saving Private Reckless.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's the other thing too is, you know, Labby's Lusty Lads was pretty ahead. You know, they were up about 5K. Oh, Labby getting caught out here.
Woo! He should be pretty fine. He's fighting with that Mundo. He's getting in there to pop that up, but our Sarktos is here. The taunt actually going to go wide, though. Labby disengaging, getting himself out of there. However, this does give them an opportunity on the side saving Private Rocks to secure that bang control, secure that scuttle, but versus Arctos caught out once again on that Shen in the Baron pit, and now that's going to force saving Private Reckless back. You know, they're down a man. They're all pretty low, especially their 5-0-2 Jinx.
Yeah, you know, and yeah, I can't agree more with you here. It's funny, you know, we talked about what SPR needs to do, and it sounds like, you know, maybe Labby's Lusty Labs are like stream sniping or something, because they're doing the exact same thing. That's the second time that Gurk has been caught out by himself, you know, and I think that Labby's team is gonna have to keep doing that to not only keep up the pressure, but, you know, to win this game. They got to find the pick, and then you know, they can look for that neutral Baron or maybe even the next Dragon that's coming up, just to close out the game and to keep their lead. You know, essentially, right? You know, because if they're down, you know, the Shen, then that's a pretty big ultimate that they lose. That's another ignite. That's the flash taunt, right? There's a lot of playmaking potential that's lost when Shen is dead. And just as I say that, it looks like, yeah.
Man, that's some massive crit damage.
That was, but I gotta give it to Packer Diehard for, you know, not only landing the zap, but not really I don't think he canceled any autos there, so that's really good from him.
That's nice. And also, one thing you can look at on any champion, it's the most important on AD carries, though, is weaving your spells in between autos. So, like, that applies to any champion. Like, Caitlyn, you can weave traps in between autos. So, you know, you can be kiting back with autos as Caitlyn and then throwing traps in front of you to keep yourself protected as, like, in between those auto attacks, which is pretty crucial to playing Caitlyn at a high level as well. I mean, I literally had 0 Caitlyn mechanics to my name, and I made mid-diamond with it. So, like, you know, it's like I can EQ people. I know trap zones. That's about it. So, you know, at the end of the day, you don't always have to know mechanics, but knowing mechanics and doing them are always very nice. And, you know, like, that applies to any champion with any spell. So, like, right after I auto someone with Jinx, I'm looking to zap someone. Right after I auto someone with Kaisa, I'm looking to, you know, pop my Void Seeker, for example. You know, it's stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I think the big thing I look for is just like different types of combinations and how to use your abilities, right? So like Nautilus, for example, you could ult in, and then guarantee the hook. Oh, we got a death bush.
Oh man, quick on those fingers though. He does not want any of what they're selling here. He's blowing his full combo though, but you know, some massive shielding coming in from Prodigy, and that sadism is gonna be crucial. But that super mega death rocket gonna take down Prodigy. You know, you just can't stand around that Brand ult, and Prodigy took so much damage from that Brand. He's on that Luden's Burrow now, and now just the AoE is coming through. Bukaki Boar gonna get that Nether Grasp canceled, but Packer Diehard is getting mowed down by the Malzaharans on the back line. Actually barely surviving, but that's the turn they need, and you cannot flash the ace in the hole, buddy. That's gonna send Packer Diehard to his grave. Lavy's Lusty Lads has found exactly what they're looking for. Morpheus, though, with a great 3-man ult, at least found Bukake Poro, gonna get mobbed down by the 3 remaining surviving members of Lavy's Lusty Lads, though.
Yeah, wow, there's a lot to unpack here. You know, both teams are trying their damnedest just to win this game. You know, Packer Diehard must have a magnet on the Janna. I mean, these Jinx ults from across the map have been consistently hitting her when they need to kill her. So gotta commend Packer Die Hard for that. But I also gotta say, nice job to Labby's Lusty Lads here for turning around the fight and just winning it. Again, they're able to keep that about 4.5, 5K gold lead, just because they're winning these fights. They're turning them. The Mundo now is starting to scale up. He's got like 2.5 items. The man is what we call in League of Legends a beefy boy. He's able to eat up a lot of the damage. The Brandol just not enough yet to wipe him. So yeah, it's it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. And so I've been talking a lot this game just about like all the little things, right? And so it's kind of relevant to really bring those into light and distinguish them in terms of what really makes this game, what really makes you see the most change in your play is like dedicated pursuit of the fundamentals. And when I say the fundamentals, it's the things that you're always going to be practicing, whether you're bronze, whether you're silver, whether you're plat, whether you're diamond, whether you're challenger, doesn't matter. But pretty consistently, almost everyone has a pretty good handle on the fundamentals when they improve. And players who go back and revisit the fundamentals usually find themselves improving at a pretty drastic rate, especially once they start learning like some of those new things about game sense and macro. You combine them with those added fundamentals, and that's what gives you drastic improvement. So when I say fundamentals, like it's killing like 17 out of the 19 minions in your first 3 waves instead of 14. If you're you have to be at a relatively good at all the fundamentals in the game, right? If you're if you're really good at poking the opponent out of lane, like you could still miss all your CS, and then as soon as they back, your poke doesn't matter. You're losing lane because they're back, they're full health, they have more money than you now, right? Like all that poke you did, it's useless because you can only poke, right? So it's just you can tell players have good grasp of the fundamentals when their play just looks overall like just crispy, right?
Oh,
it
yeah,
just
for
looks
sure.
crispy. It just looks crispy clean. And so like weaving
Crispy
abilities
clean.
in between your weaving abilities in between your autos. That's what I talk about a lot. But, it's not like big brain. Like none of the things about the fundamentals are like big brain things. You talk about big brain players and like 200 IQ things, but pretty consistently that's not what makes the player. It's like you can have as many 200 IQ players as you want, but if you don't have the fundamentals, like every single player in Challenger has good fundamentals. Some of them just turn their brains off, but that's a discussion for another day. But while I'm talking now, we got some big fights breaking out. Baron blue team's actually brought down the Baron here. Steel going completely awry, but it's actually a 2-for-2 so far. Ooh, goes deep. Morpheus has found the play onto Joystick over there. Joystick actually going to get shut down by Packer Die Hard, and it's overall a 3-for-2 in favor of Saving Private Reckless. However, Dr. Pengu actually got the solo kill on Mudkips in the side lane. It's currently battering down that bot side. Already got a tower to his name. With that Baron buff, likely looking to secure. Yep, that's the tier 3 Turk going to be going down.
Yeah, and we talked about fundamentals, and I think that being able to split push to take towers down is one of those fundamentals here, and that's kind of what we saw Dr. Pengu doing. We saw Dr. Pengu, I think did he TP or just like run to bot immediately? No, he was bot when the rest of his team was taking Baron. Oh, Labby's gonna get kited down, I think.
Yeah, and that's Karma Shield coming in through. That's going to be the shutdown coming out for Packer Die Hard. And you were talking about the fundamentals. I would say you're pretty right, as Borkfius getting caught out in this jungle. Actually, right now, Dr. Pengu's on a rampage. See, that's how you can tell he's familiar with that champion, that he's a Jace enthusiast, right? Because you're seeing some of that, like, weaving those abilities in between those autos. Like, generally speaking, his combos are looking, like a little more... Like, he's doing the basic combos that, like, even day one Jace players can do if they're, like, have decent champion knowledge or game knowledge, but it's like you can tell he's put time into this champion because those same combos are looking way cleaner than people who are just trying Jace for the first time. It's like I can throw down, an EQ combo, or I can throw down some auto combos or something like that on my day one Jace, but it's probably not going to be as clean. It's not going to be as fast, as effective, right? But that's
Right.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Well,
And
right.
if you want to touch as well on the teleport and the split pushing, that's what I call a role specific fundamental thing. And that's what we talk about. Like there's role specific fundamentals too. And when we talk about knowing your role, that's kind of about grasping the fundamentals of what your role does. And there,
Okay.
he has his teleport up. He's winning the matchup. So that means teleport should be available if they want to force a Baron fight, right? He can just teleport in for the 5v5 at Baron. So you send Dr. Pengu bot with the teleport, let him apply the split push pressure, and so, your flowchart plays out very differently. Like, Mudkip's answered bot in the 4-for-4, and so he was able to outpressure Mudkip's and get a big advantage down there while the rest of the team was at Baron. And, if they were to 5-man at Baron, then they would literally disengage at Baron because they have a Janna Kate. They have a lot of disengage, and then just let Pengu push bot uninhibited, right? That would be an option.
Yep.
But then, of course, if I had the 5, I'd be like, okay, we can't just let him take the turret for free. We got to start Baron. We got to do something. But if they start Baron, you just drop the teleport in. You drop Malzahar in the pit. You still have options. I don't know. Joystick actually cut out of it in the bottom lane. Morpheus in the bot line. Oh! He's in the back line already. What a great ultimate coming in. And that's going to be a kill on Joystick, actually. That's going to be some bad news Bears. That's really going to delay that Baron-empowered push that they have. However, we're talking about, the 1v1 matchup in the top lane right now, how much pressure Dr. Pengu has on that Jace, able to bust down that top turret and scare Ursus Arctos into actually ulting his ally. And Juice Me Daddy, that's a really rough place to be, Home Slice. Actually going to get taken down by the cannon minion there. Easy Prodigy getting the kill.
Yeah, nothing really to comment on. Some mispositioning. It is taking Labby's team a little while to close the game out, even with the Baron buff, and but I think they'll still be able to do it. That Jace is almost full build. He is level 18. The man is putting the team on, with Labby, and them two are putting the team on their backs. They are working real hard here to carry this game. So again, hopefully they could close it out. They do have all the tier 3s down, which is really good. The base is open, but it's not like cracked open, right? Like, there's not an inhibitor down, so it's a lot harder to make that final push. Because we're talking about role fundamentals. And I don't really know if this falls into another category, but just having the knowledge to know, like, when to push down an inhib, when you already have one down, and how to pressure, like, multiple lanes at once. That might be, like, more like macro fundamentals.
Yeah, that would precisely be macro fundamentals, actually.
So, oh, wow. Holy cow. What? Oh, that was the Jace Q.
Oh my god, that brand damage, absolutely melting Prodigy. That was just one W, and then the Dark Harvest procced out.
Wow.
Pretty decent deal of damage. So, again, we keep talking about that. Labby's Lusty Lads is in a state of control, but that team fight presence from Saving Private Reckless is so scary, and so they are one botched team fight away from, just hard throwing this game, if we're being honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially against a 9-1 Jinx. Like, both teams got to have themselves clenched right now. This 6k gold lead really isn't that relevant right now because they have a 9-1 Jinx. They have a brand on 3 items, Morello, Luden's Void Staff, plus the Sorcerer's Shoes, and they don't really have magic resist to stop him on anyone except the Mundo.
So something that's kind of disgusting, because we were talking about the gold lead, it appears that most of the gold lead is actually coming from the top lane. As you can see right now, Jace has gathered almost 16... Oh my god.
Oh, no, that's rough. I feel like I've seen that one before in this game.
Yeah. Really unfortunate. But what I was going to say was, Jace has about 16k gold overall, and Karma only has about 10. I mean, that is like the gold lead
almost in it of itself. Because, yeah, there's other lanes that are, outperforming other lanes here, but those kind of, like, equal each other out, as we got another fight here.
Yeah, Bukakipo going a little deep for this one. I don't know if he's going to like how that one turns out, to be honest, but Dr. Pengu, he's back at it again. We talked about those fundamentals, right? This is why Dr. Pengu is a good first-round draft pick. He's doing exactly what the top lane should be. And he's secured an inhibitor while all that stuff was going on.
And it just makes it so much harder for SPR to contest the Baron now that they have supers on two. Oh my god, the flash
That's so
forward.
much damage. If Packer Diehard actually going to secure that kill, that's a lot of damage. And, because Joystick blew that flash there, he didn't necessarily even need the trap there. Or he had to at least be mindful of the brand damage. But, yeah, that's a pretty good turnaround from the side of Saving Private Reckless. Juice Me Daddy really in a bad spot. And, dropping the old frick your stopwatch in chat earlier. Can we see another frick your stopwatch in chat from Labby's Lusty Lads this time? That'd be great.
Frick your stopwatch.
Frick your stopwatch.
And while we wait for that, in the chat here, it looks like Elder Drake's going to go down to... Elder Drake's going to go here to Labby's Lusty Lads. It's going to make that team fight potential a lot better. Especially on somebody like Mundo who doesn't really do damage, but now he does because he procs the Elder. Uh-oh.
And we're talking Elder. Elder actually really synergizes well with Malzahar and damage over time in particular, because it applies a total of I believe it's 50 damage per 50 true damage per dragon buff on the first Elder.
Oh wow.
Over the course of like 2 seconds or 3 seconds or something like that. So you can keep reapplying it with the damage over time, essentially. And Borgfius actually going into this pit here. Let's see if he can get it. That's the flash forward, and he gets the smite steal. That's so much damage coming out. Borgfius on a killing spree. So trading 1-for-1 and getting the Baron steal, that's so important to prolong the game against this Elder Dragon buffed Labby's Lusty Lads right now.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Labby's Lusty Lads. I mean, he literally flashed over the wall at 4k HP on the Baron. At that point, you literally just need to get off of it and just
they kind of just kill the Amumu, bro.
Yeah.
They kind of just sat there and let that happen. I just feel like they didn't really exactly, have Amumu just flashing forward accounted for.
Right.
And so they just saw him in the pit and they're like, "Oh, that's there. That's interesting. What do we do?" I don't know. Just keep hitting Baron,
I guess we're gonna take down the Baron. Oh wait.
Yeah.
They smited it.
Yeah, it's like 50-50 is, and again, if they'd won the 50-50 smite, that wouldn't have even mattered. But they lost the 50-50 smite. That's not so. That's probably the worst. That's the worst possible timeline for them there.
The worst possible timeline. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have an option to avoid the worst possible timeline, guaranteed, you should take it. Just turn on the Amumu.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, kudos to Borgfius, though, for doing that, though.
That was a really good steal.
Oh,
Borgfius once again going in deep. Unfortunately, that ult's only found 2 of them. Juice Me Daddy already so low from the Nether Grasp here. Labby tanking up this front line, flashing out. Labby's Lusty Lads coming forward. This is looking like the fight they're needed. Or Sarkness going to get taken down by the headshot from Joystick, but Packer Diehard found the double kill on the return. The flash forward. Bukake Poro goes down. Now Labby's in a bit of trouble over here. Packer Diehard just pumping out so much damage. That is one beefy boy, Mundo. He's not going to have enough damage to take him down, but it's not going to matter as once again, Saving Private Reckless had snatched life away from the jaws of defeat and is now looking to see if they can turn this game around.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. Labby's is so close to closing this game out, but then it's, the Jinx is able to just do so much AoE damage as well as the brand ult there. And Borgfield, I mean, SPR's comp is very AoE heavy, right? And so I think that's what's really been able to, pan out for them and keep them in this game. The only difference right now is maybe 1.5K in gold and 1 kill. I mean, this is a very close game in that, when you're looking at gold and kills. I mean, if you look at the map, yeah, SPR hasn't taken a tower yet, but it's also like Labby's Lusty Lads isn't able just to steamroll them and run into their base, right? Even with 2 inhibitors down, it's going to be really hard to either get that third one down or to try to get a Nexus tower. So we'll see what'll happen here. Baron buff's still up, yeah.
And General Dill in chat saying Jink's going to need that Mortal Marinder. Yeah, pretty much, especially because that Mundo's now going to be picking up some armor pretty soon. And even more importantly, there's just so much healing on the side of Lappy's Lusty Lads with the Janna Redemption, the Janna ult as well. She shields someone that's healing from Athene's. And most importantly, the Mundo sadism is, going to be absolutely massive in this fight. And the Grievous Wounds is just absolutely needed to take him down. But fight starting out right here. Packer Diehard drops pretty early, but Jesus, that is a massive Amumu Brand ult combo. And that's going to be a quick 3-for-0 in favor of Saving Private Reckless. Man.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. Like, it's just the AoE is, like, really working for them here. It's going to be hard here. It looks like Dr. Pengu is trying his best to get 1 inhib down. Can he make it 2, though? No,
yeah,
looks like he's leaving.
Yeah, it's got it stopped by the 1v2 overall, and Pengu actually teleporting back in, sees the base is in trouble, but the flash taunt forward, he's actually going to get taken down by Mudkips and Ursa Sarktos here. I was going to talk about some healing reduction and suggest Moroa Nomicon from Mudkips, and he actually came straight in with it. Now they're on the chase for Pengu. They're going to have a massive problem getting back. Nexus turret 1 goes down. They're already in the base, but Packer Diehard going a little too far forward has actually found him. Joystick, though, standing in one place. That's a Bandage Toss ult combo coming straight in for Borkfius. Bukake Poro, though, is actually teleported into Saving Private Reckless's base, and Prodigy's found the takedown in their own base. Bukake Poro clearing the top side inhib, looking to bring them forward on the Nexus turret.
Oh, boy.
Prodigy just trying to stall them out. But actually, the teleport's going to get stopped here, and there's nothing they can do as the flash auto comes forward for Brand.
No.
That's going to be in the game for Saving a Private Reckless. And Bukake Poro not able to find the back door just quickly enough. And what an ending to game 2. And that's got to be a heartbreaker if you're Lappy's Lusty Lads.
God, if I was Lappy's Lusty Lads, I would just be tilted off the face of the earth. Oh, my God.
Honestly, yeah. You making Strappo? I think I can make Strappo, actually.
Make it? Okay, cool. Yeah, oh my God, wow, what a game. Holy cow.
I honestly had that game had me clenched, I'll be real. So, I think that segues perfectly into our next conversation. Who are you considering for MVP this game?
I think I gotta give it to either Borkfius again or Packer Diehard. And I know ADCs can't, get MVPs, but I gotta give. I mean, that man, the entire game, only 2 deaths. I mean, we when SPR was so far behind in the early game, we made a comment. I think actually just you made a comment about how Jinx, if they want to win, Jinx is going to have to remain relevant, and she did the entire game. Her ults, impeccable. I don't even think she missed one. It always hit at least one person, and it usually resulted in a death. I mean, I can't really see anybody else outside of those 2, if I'm being honest. I think Juice Me Daddy might be another good contender. With his ults, he did a lot of damage and a lot of slows. But I think, the game changed when Borkfius flashed over that wall in Solar Baron and gave Packer Diehard the tools to carry the game.
Yeah, exactly. It has me really torn here between Packer Diehard and Borkfius. I think Juice Me Daddy is like a very strong runner-up, but a very clear runner-up. As you know, there were some issues throughout the game, but you can't discount the massive amount of damage he had. with that brand. Packard Diehard, though, playing overall really cleanly on Jinx that game. We talked about that laning phase. She had a very good laning phase, all things considered, in that matchup. And just really, taking over the game in general. The 14-2 and 8 KDA is an absolute doozy to look at. And traditionally, you're used to Brand doing by far the most damage, especially into teams with juicy tanks like Moondiffer that just shred so much shreds so much health with his percent max health damage. But Packer Diehard, right up there with that Jinx, showing up. And Borkfist on the flip side, with that Amumu, a lot of jungle pressure coming out, perhaps less early, especially, than last game, but those Amumu ults and team fights, absolute game changers. They set Juice Me Daddy's brand up for success, and Packard Diehard just had a field day cleaning up fights that Borgfist was starting, and that Baron Steel, absolutely slick. I can't lie.
Yep, I could not agree with you more. So please vote on the poll who you think will be your MVP. And yeah, we'll get them in here for a quick post game interview here. I know a lot of us either have work or school tomorrow, whether they're teaching or being the student. So we will, because I think it's like what? Yeah, it's like 12:30 EST. Holy cow, that's late.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But anyway, right now Packard Diehard off to a pretty quick. Packard Diehard off to a pretty quick lead. He's currently up 3 votes right now. It's 6 votes. Refresh the results. 7. Borgfius is up there with 2. We'll give this about a minute more before we start calling the MVP votes. But very good job to both teams, though. Very interesting games overall tonight, though, I will say.
Yeah, for sure. Could not agree more. Who was MVP for game 1?
That was Juice Me Daddy.
Oh, that's right. Cool. I'm just updating the stream.
Check this. So nothing really coming in as of yet. So I think what I'm going to go now is we're going to call it here. Packer Diehard, it's going to be your Game 2 MVP. Yes, sirree. ADCs can indeed win MVP. Congratulations, Packer Diehard. And the rest of Saving Private Reckless on a very hard-fought 2-0. So can we have... We have...
Juice Me Daddy and Packard.
You had Packard Diehard 12. Let's go to play of the game 2.
Aye, Captain. I'm looking for him. Hello.
Hello.
Yo, what up, boys?
Oh,
Welcome to the Funhouse.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
So, congratulations to you guys on a hard-fought 2-0 victory over Lavi's Lusty Lads. So, with that being said, I think that was the last week of play for the Melody bracket, if I'm correct. So, that puts Saving Private Reckless closing the season on an 8-2 record and likely securing the 1 seed going into playoffs. So, let's just talk about that for a little bit. How do you guys feel about securing the 1 seed, and how do you guys feel in general about playoffs?
Feels pretty good. I don't know. I'm pretty happy. I'm happy with the team. Happy with that last game.
Nice.
Happy with Packer carrying my fucking bum ass brain.
Yeah, the old die 3 times in the lane into the last hit the Nexus. It was me. I was MVP. I earned it. I killed the Nexus. You saw it.
The good old that whole sequence where I died 3 times and Bukaki Poro got 3 levels. That was fun.
Yeah.
That's what they call the old razzle dazzle.
The old got him. But can you hit the Nexus?
True. probably the most crucial part of this entire game is, can you hit the Nexus?
See, I was debating between saving my mummy and hitting the Nexus, and I couldn't decide which was more important. I was like, yeah. But no, to answer your question, I think I speak for all of us. Feels pretty good. I think we're pretty excited about what playoffs brings. And
Do you think there are any teams going into playoffs that you might be particularly scared of facing?
I don't want to divulge that information, but I will anyway because I feel like they earned it. For me, this team, I feel like there were certain things that I will not divulge that this team did that scared me a lot.
Okay.
Namely, literally five banning you, probably.
No, that was annoying, but there were other things that this team did that are pretty scary. There were a couple others. I don't remember their names, but
Nice.
I hardly remember what our name is half the time. So that's not to diss the other teams. I just
Yeah, was
That's
that killing General Safe or what now what was that team name again? Oh, Saving Private Reckless. Okay.
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
We quite literally failed to save Private Reckless.
Because you guys currently have had Packer Diehard subbing for him basically the entire season, right?
Yeah, it's been well, there might have been one match I missed, but this third, yeah, so this third match, so 6 games.
I mean,
Out
the
of
way you
10.
look at it, like you guys did say Private Reckless. He has not been on the battlefield for so long, dude. Like you guys did a good job. He will not die. He will go home to see his family, dude.
When's the
You
last
guys
time that
have
he died?
saved Private Reckless.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad that it's hard for me to get to play in this type of stuff because my work schedule, I work at 3 in the morning.
Ugh.
So I'm like asleep when everybody is playing these games. So joining like this kind of mini tournament setup where I don't have to commit for like a long amount of time and I can try to just make exceptions for a few nights to make it work around my work schedule is really nice because I've wanted to play in the league for a while. Like I played season 2 and that's the only one I was in. So it's just been awesome to be able to play with these guys. Obviously winning makes it better, but even if we were losing, like for me, just playing it all and being able to be involved in part of a team is awesome.
Hell yeah.
So I think probably my last question is going to be a double-pronged one. You know, you guys had a very convincing Game 1 victory, I would say. And so, you know, the twofold question is, question
Hold on,
one, do you think you guys expected such, stiff resistance going into Game 2? And then question two is, like, what was going through you guys' mind as, Labby's Lusty Lads was kind of accruing a lead on you guys Game 2, and you guys actually had to fight back from behind?
Not a problem. Never scared.
I'll say for me, like maybe I was going into this game a little bit cockier than I needed. I give a lot of credit to their bot lane second game because even though they picked Kate and Janna, I still expected to be able to just kind of do whatever I wanted bot lane. And yeah, like I didn't die, but I was frustrated. I thought we would have had more opportunities to fight them and trade them, and I was just trying. That's like part of why I picked Jinx is because I feel confident on her, and I thought even into an early game Caitlyn that we could still like get an early snowball, and they actually like pressured us super hard, more than I expected. So it was harder for me to, I think, get going as quickly as I wanted to. But then also like in general, not just in the bot lane, something about the team comp that maybe we didn't think about beforehand was it was like super hard for us to actually get fights we wanted. I don't know if that was just us playing bad or if it was because our comp wasn't good against their comp because they had like really good with the Jace and the Caitlyn.
So
Oak.
the main thing is that it was just hard for it was hard for us to engage with like because the Mumu could go in but they could just peel back with like the Janna and shit. So it was really we really needed the karma there, which was hard to do whenever she was answering the Jace. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
We just thought like I knew that like late game Jinx can carry better than Caitlyn, and like with a Mumu ult for engage and like with Karma backing me up from Karma, that I thought I'd just be able like if we just grouped around me, we'd be able to win. But it was a lot harder for us to actually get those fights off because we were just trying to line up and move at them, but then we just got hit by poke and they backed away, and then we were at half health and then we couldn't fight. So it was just I don't know why we couldn't figure out for so long how to set it up. And they did a great job of pushing their early advantages, keeping the pressure up on us and keeping the waves pushed in the sides so that we never really had control of the map at all. And after game one, like that wasn't like that at all. So I think part of it too is I could have picked a safer pick than Jinx for game two, but I was just kind of cocky and I was like, yeah, I'll just take Jinx and it'll be fine because I'll be fine later. And I could have been more careful about it, but yeah.
I think those are very good answers and very, very insightful as well.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so now on that note, looking at the state of the league right now, that game is going to bring Saving Private Reckless to an 8-2 closing to the regular season, which means they have officially locked in the 1 seed going into playoffs. There's still time to fight between second and third seeds, though, as next week, week 6, we're still going to have some pretty good games to come out and watch in the Melody bracket. Landon the Old Guys versus Biscuit Force 5, Sunday the 15th at 10 p.m., as well as Katarina Winemixer playing Labby's Lusty Lads at 8 p.m. next Sunday. Actually, wait, Saving Private Reckless. Yeah, okay, never mind. That was you guys' game today. But yeah, those are going to be some very important games to watch. Biscuit Force 5 improving to 4-4 on the record with I would say the 2-0 upset over Katarina Winemixer tonight. And so look to that Log versus BF5 to be a very explosive second to third seed decider match going into playoffs, as well as Katarina Winemixer playing against Labby's Lusty Lads. See if either of them can get anything started. Those are all very important games, and we hope to see you guys next week, coming soon to a PMA LCS stream near you. So on that note, on behalf of the broadcast team here, both teams, the admins, everyone, thank you for coming out tonight, and we hope you will tune in again next week to your PMA LCS. Goodbye, everyone.
Peace out.